All right, thank you guys. I do apologize again, my fuck up. So I'm gonna get Apocalyptic Ben back on. Um, I thought I could pull a move where I ended one stream on one app and then back on the other, but that shit didn't work. So never again. All right. So this is better, right? 5x5. You guys can fucking hear me. All right, and that should be a lot better. All right, good. Apocalyptic. Yeah, he was, and he was talking. He was on a roll. He was on a roll, and I had to shut it down because, of course, like always, I fuck things up. So, yeah, whatever. Fucking hear you. Yeah, it's whatever. You know what's even worse, guys? I emailed him with the link, so I'm gonna get him back on. You know what's getting worse is that I'm getting older, and I feel like every time I fuck one of these things up, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm turning into my parents. I'm like a fucking 80-year-old trying to figure this shit out. You know, thinking, the last time I thought I was gonna be cute about it, but nope. All right, guys, this is Apocalyptic Ben. We're trying this shit one more time. Again,
all right, we're on.
Yes, we are on. You can see it. You can see yourself on the computer.
I can see it. Yeah.
All right. The election's not happening. All right. So again, you have to go through this whole thing that you went through before.
All right, let's do it.
Explain to everybody who you are.
I'm Apocalyptic Ben, 3311. Yeah. Make sure you head over to my channel and subscribe. And basically, I'm a prepping channel, an SHTF channel. Many people will say I have a controversial channel because of what I say and what I get into, but I like to basically debate with people on facts. I don't go in and talk fluff. If I see somebody said something about prepping or SHTF or about the current political news and I feel as though what they're saying isn't legitimate, I will counter what they say and tell them my point of view. And I don't do it to argue with them. I do it to teach people. But I'm misunderstood, as you can see, a lot when I do it. But if you watch close, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm coming in with evidence every time. I had a channel before this that was a Trump channel. Now, before I get into this, like I did before, I am middle grounded. I don't go left or right now. I've taken the middle ground for a reason. I used to be a heavy Trump supporter. I voted Trump. I went to rallies. I went to the Million MAGA March. I didn't go to J6. I was invited to J6, but I didn't go. I'm glad I didn't go. I knew Eddie Block and those guys. Yeah, I'm so glad. That was like a blessing. I woke up that evening. I was talking to my girlfriend, and we were like, "You sure you want to go down there?" And I was like, "You know what? It sounds rough, and it sounds, like it might not be worth the trip." So I didn't go, and it was like the best move I ever made. Come to find out, but I was really mad that I didn't go that day because I was watching it on YouTube and I was like, wow. And I was restreaming it live and I was like, damn, I can't believe what's going on. You know what I mean? It was crazy. Right. Were you there? Did you go?
Yeah, I went.
Okay. Yeah. So Eddie was on the steps and that's why he got, the feds came to his house and took all his equipment and stuff afterwards. But I had that channel and I kept posting stuff from, I was the first, I was following the black conservative preacher, I think his name was, and he was getting all the Oregon stuff. And in Oregon, a bunch of patriots stormed the courthouse in Oregon. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I did.
I was the first one to hit YouTube with that, and it viraled, and it kind of blew my channel up with that one. I didn't expect it. I just wanted people to see what was going on. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I went on and I got more stuff. I got Washington, had a Proud Boy night in Washington where they were going through. You probably saw my videos on my old channel actually and didn't know it was me. But I was the one who got the Washington DC travel when I think the Proud Boys went down. It was in November. They went down. There was like, I don't know, 20 or 30,000 Proud Boys that went, and they like rushed Washington. They went through the city the whole entire evening. They were all over the place. They were pushing Antifa out. It was interesting, the whole thing. So that was what I was into at that time. I was streaming that kind of stuff. I wasn't always going to that stuff, but I was streaming it from home or restreaming it because I knew the streamers. And obviously YouTube over time, frowned upon anything with Trump in it. So they continue to give me strikes. I think I got like 5 strikes altogether because I kept getting a strike and then coming back around, losing it, and get another one and losing it. And eventually they cut me off and left me with no channel. So I came back into YouTube through the prepper side of things, through A American, who is a 2A guy. Look his channel up, A American. He's got a good channel. He needs more. He has 18,000 subscribers right now, but he probably should have a lot more for what he knows. His knowledge on guns, his knowledge on all this stuff is incredible. It's phenomenal. He's basically a junkie when it comes to how to operate guns and things, different types. That's his thing. So I came back in through him, and then now I'm still in the prepper community. I'm growing my channel. I think I'm at 1,300 subs or something. Nothing really like my old channel. My old channel is much bigger. But I'm meeting a lot of good people like yourself. I watch a lot of prepping channels. I think all the prepping channels out there are great. I don't agree with all of them, but I think they're great because I've noticed that from each one, I can take at least one thing that I don't know, that I haven't seen before, and I can apply it to whatever I'm doing. Now, maybe 80% of what I see, I debate with because I don't really agree with many people when they come out and they say something, because it seems like they don't come out. They say things from their own point of view, but there's not much evidence behind it when they speak. So I'm the type of person who will come out and I will comment in their videos my point of view, and many times it's taken like I'm attacking them, like I'm being a jerk. Really what I'm trying to do is just explain where I'm coming from, because I want to get my point of view out there. Yeah. And I find windows and opportunities to do that, so I can say, oh good, now I can come in with what I know here. I can put my knowledge into this at this level right here. So basically, I don't think we should always have to be kissing each other's asses or being so sweet to each other in an SHTF world. If we're trying to prepare, I mean, if we're trying to be preppers, being so kind to one another all the time, as far as verbally and things, it's nice to be respectful and whatnot. We should always, handle ourselves with respect. But the same token, if in a situation like that, we need to be ready to be able to endure being approached in certain ways and stay on our toes and keep our minds about us and not let our feelings and sensitivity take over. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's part of my excuse for why I'm that way. So anyway, go ahead.
No. And that's interesting because what the fuck? I was, I think you heard me say this. Last week I was talking to 3 dudes outside and they were convinced Trump was going to jail over this shit. And I'm like, he ain't going anywhere. He's not going for this anyway. I mean, they're going to keep digging until they find something.
Right.
But, or they're going to make something up out of their ass. But we've watched them try, 3 times already? And they failed. So anyway, these guys outside, we got into the conversation about the shot, the arm ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy was like, he's like, it is effective. It does work because, I said, did you get sick? He goes, yeah. He goes, but I didn't go to the hospital. I go, neither did I, and I didn't take it. I said, so that's not provable fact. That's what the fuck do they call that? I can't think of the word, but that's not facts. I said everyone in my household caught it. None of us went to the hospital.
Right.
And we don't have the arm ticket. So again, how does that prove that it works? So he didn't know what to say after that. So and I find it interesting that he just sat there. He goes, "Well, it worked for me." I'm like, "That's not facts. Telling me that it worked for you doesn't work that way. You have to give me anecdotal." Thank you, Joe FW. That's what it was. Anecdotal.
Right.
Anecdotal. And I said, you can't. I mean, listen. Yes, you can use anecdotal evidence to start a study or research or whatever the fuck it is that you want to start. But you can't use that as your base of facts. And listen, I've done it before in the past, and I've learned the hard way. Using anecdotal facts or situations, and then turning around and then doing research and going, "Fuck, it wasn't that." So listen, if you're gonna be proven wrong, you got to be willing to fucking be proven wrong.
Right. Yeah, you got to accept it. Yep.
I know that in the prepper world, when I first started, before my channel got big, there were people who were calling me out for being a fake outdoorsman, and I'm like, all right. and I did videos. I suffered just to prove to people that I was able to do it. You know, and then
Right.
there were certain things I failed at. Absolutely, I failed at. But that was my arrogance in the way of it. So anyway, with that being said, what was the last controversial comment you made?
I got to think about that. There's so many of them. Well, you know, the title of your video, as far as a fake prepper, that's where let's go there.
Okay.
That's where I started. Do you remember when I came in and I called out the unapologetic prepper?
Yes.
And I think I might have deleted the video. I deleted a bunch of videos. However, I did call him out, saying that I didn't consider him to be a real prepper.
Okay.
And that's definitely a controversial statement. Now, other ones that I've made have been along the lines of religion and things like that, because I have different views on that too. Obviously, I was in the Christian faith for a while, but I've also did some deep research in ancient like religions and things like that to see where Christianity came from. If you don't mind me getting into that for a second, because this is a controversial one that happened with what's that, Prepping by Faith, I think it is.
Okay.
I made a statement on her channel saying that she was being deceptive. I like her as a person. I think she's a good channel. I think she has a good presence, and she has a strong YouTube personality. I see where she's coming from with different things, but it seemed like she was pushing a religious agenda. That's the way that I took that in the beginning.
Okay.
So I made a comment. It was very controversial. I said, I think you're being deceptive here. And she didn't like that. And I got blasted for it the rest of the way down through the comment. No matter what I said, there wasn't any way to come out of that one. And plus it was her channel, and I'm going on her channel and saying this. So I understood it was going to come back on me.
Right.
And absolutely. But as far as like the cross and things like that are concerned, I've done research on where the cross comes from and the quadrants of the cross. I have a video on it. The 4 quadrants of the cross and where the cross comes from, and how Christianity was created and whatnot. So I made a video after I went back and forth on her video. I'll come out and I'll make a video and explain myself to show people what I'm talking about. That way I don't just go off and say something. You know what I mean? I'll make a video based on it. And I explained it in the video. So I think the most controversial thing lately has to be me calling out the religious side of it, probably the religious side of prepping and things like that. So,
listen, I get that, but I also say to each his own. If you're going to bring religion into prepping, that's up to you. It's not, you know, you know what, if somebody was using, and I see where you're going with this. So if somebody was using their prepping channel to be deceitful in a way where they were like, if you donate to me to build my ministry so that my ministry could put food away for an apocalyptic event, and then they take that money and they do something else with it, yes, I absolutely would call them out on it. But the problem with calling people out on certain things like that, and we're talking about that specifically, is that you don't know. You know, what's his name? Bear Independent. He's been called out on the money he spent or the money he's receiving for the whole runaway kids sex trafficking thing. And when I met the man myself, I saw exactly what the fucking dude was about. So it's on YouTube, like you just said, it's hard to get that point across. And when you made that statement and people fired off at you, you were like, shit, that's not what I meant by that. You know? But then right. But the other side of that coin is like, you can't leaving a comment. It's hard because people will misinterpret that comment through and through. And I've done it before. People have left comments on mine. I'm like, the fuck's he talking about? And I would say, could you please elaborate? And people go, sorry, and then they elaborate on what they meant. And nobody wants to write a book on in the comment section, though a lot of us have in the past. But yeah, and as far as like the one thing about the unapologetic prepper, listen, I don't think he's a prepper. He's a homesteader. And if you look at his videos, you look at his home, you look at the livestock he grows, I would consider him a homesteader before a prepper. I mean, the guy's also a fucking asshole, but nonetheless,
he is a fucking asshole because I've watched his videos
Yeah.
And there's a statement about my mullet. Hey, thank you. I love this thing. This thing's badass. But I'm like one of the only people I know one that's nice, by the way. There's a statement. Sorry. There was a the unapologetic prepper. I watched his videos, and there's a lot of them, and I never saw anything with content with value that was teaching anybody anything. That's why I agree with you on him being an asshole. I don't see him teaching anything. He'll come out and call people out, but then I can't learn anything from him. Like, he'll pull a bunny out and show you a bunny, and I'm like, what the fuck good is a bunny going to do? That's all he shows.
Right.
Or he'll eat his preps. I saw him come out his last video when he's eating his preps, and I'm like, so you're going to eat your preps? All right. Is this a joke or is this for real? I don't know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen,
it's crazy.
Once you called out the Alaska prepper, I was like, what the fuck? Seriously? Like, listen, Alaska prepper's like one of the nicest guys on YouTube. And when he called him out, that's when I was like, I was like up to here with him. I was like, this guy's a fucking dick. Fuck him. I hope his house burns to the fucking ground. But anyway, I want to go down. Because the guy's he's just a dick for the purpose of being a dick. But I don't want to entertain or go down that road too far. But
you notice he quit. He kind of quit YouTubing, so he stopped.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I don't know because I don't follow the guy.
I checked his channel. I haven't seen the video since. So I guess he left.
Well, you know what's funny? He a couple months ago when we got into it, he was saying how his channel was going to fucking make it and it was going to blow up and yada yada yada. I'm like, whatever, yeah.
Right.
Johnny 308, we're bashing his channel because he bashed other channels, or is that that's what you mean by it? Sorry, forget it, Johnny. I take that back. My bad. Exactly it, right? If you don't like a channel, guys, starting a video on the channel you don't like is a bitch move. And again, he might not like you. He might go and directly contact you and take up issues. But to do a rebuttal video, that's bullshit. It's a grab. It's a grab at content. It's a grab at fucking, trying to get more subscribers by fucking, what is that called? Video response. Which I'll never fucking do. But people do video responses all the time. But whatever. That's that. I don't want to go down that road because you start bashing one dude, you start leaking into others.
Right.
And everybody knows who I don't like and who I fucking can care less. But with that being said, man, I am definitely going to have you come back on here. Because I tonight was a shit show, man.
No problem, brother. I forgot all about it too. I had my family. I was taking care of them, and the last minute, I saw you went live, and I checked it out, and I was like, "Oh no, that was tonight."
No! Oh no! Holy shit, man! Yeah, but listen, I watched it. I watched a few of your videos, man, and sometimes when you say certain things, the way you say it, it was like, what the? And then you're not clean it up. You would explain. So I think what I'm saying is that, guys, if you're gonna watch this channel, you gotta stick it out because he'll explain it in the end, or he'll explain it during the video exactly what he means. But for the most part, he does talk about prepping and things of that nature and what's going on. You should definitely check his channel out. I know you guys are sitting here and you're listening to what he's saying, and he's civil-minded. He truly stands in the fucking middle. So if you are a Prepping by Faith fan and you thought he was attacking, hopefully he cleaned it up for you guys so that you can learn from that. Now, some of you are asking real quick, what is real prepper? And I hopefully I explained it in the last part before I went off the air. A real prepper, guys, it goes beyond gear, knowledge, and skills. At some point, you're going to have to make some fucking shitty decisions if we end up in a catastrophic event, whatever that event is. And people seem to think that just being a prepper is just gear and skills. No, it's fucking way more than that. You got to war game your entire situation and your family's entire situation away from certain situations and into good ones, if you know what I mean. And that's all. That's what most preppers now, a lot of us that have a lot of gear and a lot of shit, now we're trying to figure out how we're going to get this situation. Now, my next move is to get the fuck out of here. That's my next move. I honestly don't know how long I'm going to last if a cataclysmic event happens and I'm stuck here. Now, for the
In the
most part,
city, right?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, in the city, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I
that's a
think
trap. That's a trap. Yeah, definitely a trap. Yep.
right, but I live in a quiet area, a quiet part of town. Most people don't normally come up here, so I'm hoping it stays that way through the event, whatever it is. But we can hold our own for a while, but I just don't know how long. I'd rather not figure that out. If I had my own land, like a lot of you guys have, I could stick it out for a long term. But I don't know how long that's gonna last if we are stuck in the city.
Right. Right. So, what are the benefits of the city? And I mean, people always, people always watch land. They're always pushing for land. Everybody, you have to have land. But what are the benefits of living in the city in an SHTF situation? Because it also comes with benefits, right?
Yeah, it does. It
So, what
definitely
are the
does.
advantages? What would you say the advantages are for living in a city?
That's a good one. One of them is there are a lot of places to hide, right? So if we got pushed out of here, there are a million options there where I can hide in the city. Um, Water would be the biggest issue. That's the only reason why I would leave. Water, not the only reason. There's a couple reasons. Water is one of the reasons why I would leave. As far as crime goes where the people go. And if most people leave the city would be there'd be a lot of abandoned neighborhoods, if you will, where there'd be no one in it. So you
Hmm.
can absolutely hide in that aspect. Food, if you are up for it, there's a ton of rats and a ton of pigeons you can eat. So you won't go hungry in that aspect. I would try to stay away from that. But if you were absolutely dying of hunger, you got enough rats and enough birds to eat. Um, and again, if you're going to eat rats, you got to be really careful with eating them. There's a drawback to eating that. Um,
Right.
and I think, and as far as being out like the cold and the weather and the bad weather, being in one of these buildings, you're going to outlast that weather, whether it's a snowstorm or a hurricane. You will outlast the weather versus being in a home in the middle of West Virginia, and you get a bad tornado that comes through, you're screwed. You know, here we have more structure.
You got
So
concrete. Concrete is very strong.
yeah,
Exactly. You have walls. You can use. Exactly. That's what I thought too. You have walls and you have places to hide. Basically, you already have, and you have mags already in place. You have mutual assistance groups by being an associate of another, neighbor in the city automatically, right?
no, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't.
It depends, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't go that far because the the neighbors in the building there might be like three or four I can trust, and the
Right.
rest I would have to watch. And see if it's worth it. I know that there are a lot of people that will come together in this building, even though I don't talk to many. There are a lot of people just based on brief conversations we had. People will come together in this building. I can't speak for others, but you'll like I said, you have a lot of desolate spots. You'll have a lot of places to hide. You have, like Jason C just said it, you have a ton of fucking ready-made structures, and you have strong structures that you don't have to worry about collapsing. Um, you also have the subway system if you actually want to get out of the city. There are a couple of tunnels where you don't
Unless
have
an
to.
unless an EMP hits, then you're kind of stuck there. But yeah.
Yes, if an EMP hits, well, that's why God gave us two legs, right? So we could walk. If EMP does happen, we're walking out of here. If the bridges get blown, like in fucking I Am Legend, then I have a raft to shuttle us across. So I, as a prepper, I try to give us as much options to get out of here. The next one would be e-bikes, which again, I looked up e-bikes. I looked up something Nomad. Hudson Valley was
Good
put me on.
bike. Yeah.
Right. He put me onto that, and I like those bikes, but they're a tad fucking heavy, and I'm looking for but they will handle the weight that we're carrying. So there's a
Right.
good side of that.
Yeah.
What would
I
you
Go
go ahead?
ahead. Yep. Oh, on
What
the
you say?
e-bike subject, I put together my own e-bike also. I bought a front wheel hub and then basically wired the rest onto the frame, and then got the battery. Had to put part of the battery together and then
Yeah.
take off the battery management system, and then I soldered the rest of the wires. And you can actually make your own e-bike for within $400 or $500. even though they're selling them for $2,000, you can get them for cheaper. I think somebody said it right here on here, $350. What's that?
What, make your own?
Yes, you can get the wheel hub, the front wheel hub for $200, and that wheel hub's very powerful. This is a 36-volt wheel hub, and it'll actually take over 200 pounds down the street. Pretty good, 200 to 300. So,
you know what? I'm gonna say this on here. I'm bougie. I'm buying me a fucking $2,000 bike. I wouldn't go on and try to build. Like, if I had the mechanical skills to do it, absolutely. But sometimes you have to, like, know your limits, and that's my limit right there. Not building anything electronic.
Well, I have to say though, for SHTF and prepping, part of what I'm teaching on my channel, what I'll be teaching him moving forward is learning electronics, because in a situation like that, you're gonna want to use electricity, magnets, copper, how to put together, and all that shit too. So
like electricity.
something. Well, you can make hydroelectric electricity. Hydroelectricity, you can use. They sell them on Amazon. You can get them for like $20, small ones. You get the water pressure going through them, and you get water pressure. You get electricity out of it, and you can also make those too. Same thing with the windmill. If you want to make yourself a solar power, you can do that. Or there's different ways. There's also right now I'm practicing with thermoelectricity. It's heat. Right. So I got these blocks and I put them on heat like a fireplace, and it creates electricity. So in the SHTF situation, I know I'm jumping subjects, but in a situation like that, knowing how to use these wires and knowing what can turn things into electricity, it's not free electricity, because that doesn't exist. That's bullshit, but it's close to it. Right. Knowing what you can do is very important. It's just something I would look into more, my point of view, or anybody listening. Electricity is very important. So, or
I would just team up with somebody that knows it, so I don't have to do it. Just like comms.
Right.
I can't stand fucking what you call ham radios and shit. I can't stand it, man. I tried. I had a book. I was trying to read through this shit. I'm like, fuck this. I closed it. I was done. I'm like, yes, want nothing to do with it. My patience right now, like, you know what? Welding, something that I'm looking to get into. That's there's a couple courses throughout the city. I'm looking to get into welding. But I just can't do the ham radio. I've tried so many times. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I don't need to talk to anybody. And I said, hopefully, when the shit is on, I could just yell out of the window. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't fucking deal with it. I tried so hard, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's just a horrible read. And somebody gave me the option to go and take a test, an open book test. I was like, really? And then I missed that one. But whatever. I can't do it, man. It's just again, limitations. I can't do it. Someone says you don't need a license. Yes, you don't need a license during an emergency for ham. But then I would still have to buy one to practice on it, and to practice on it, need a license. That's the catch.
Well, yeah, there's a catch. It depends on what your frequency that you're using. There's different things you can do with it. You can't push aside, but obviously I can go on there and I can listen to whoever I want to.
Right.
But if I'm going to communicate, I technically should have a license. Are they going to, during a situation like that, there's not going to be any law enforcement coming down to give me a fine for using it. But at the same token, I'm sure there'll be some sort of radio silence or anything like that can take place. So the ham radios are going to be pretty much in jeopardy to begin with. I don't think people look at that part of it,
I listen. I thought about that being in jeopardy. There are a lot of things that depends on what happens and how it goes down. There's a lot of things that'll be in jeopardy as far as electronicals. Like, for example, the solar generators that I would rely on for smaller things to run. If, for example, Yellowstone went, these things would be rendered useless, right?
Right.
The sun would be blocked out, and I would have fucking less rays on the panels, and we'd be fucked in that way. So that's why I try to cover all bases. But the one basis that I cannot cover and will not cover is ham radio operations. I can't rely on somebody else, man. It's spam and ham radios. I can't deal with it. I really can't. I tried. People talked me into it. I'm like, all right. I think I've tried 2 or 3 times just to read the book, and I can't even get through it. So I'm like, fuck that. I'll just wait. I'll just hope to God somebody in the group is a fucking ham radio operator. Go from there.
You got a good group, so I'm sure somebody will know how to do
it. That's for sure. So listen, we are. We could push it. We got a couple minutes. So anyway, with that, I will be scheduling you for later next month.
Okay.
I'm going to invite you closer to the date, because what I'm starting to notice is that I've invited 3 people and 2 of them forgot. And when I contacted them, they were like, "Oh shit, sorry." So I'm like, "No big deal." But I scheduled them too fucking far out, so I can't do that anymore. So I'm gonna have to.
Right.
I'm gonna start contacting people within 2 to 3 weeks of the live stream, and not fucking 2 months out. That's too much. And we are all busy. Every last one of us are fucking busy doing some shit, right?
I do. I pump a lot of videos out, a lot of shorts out, but people don't realize that I'm doing it on the way to work. I'm doing it, and if I have to go to the bathroom, it's always when I'm in between something. It's never because I'm just sitting around. You know what I mean? So I get it, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm contacting other preppers who are, like you said, like just super busy. So that's a lesson learned. Everything's a fucking lesson. Like, don't open up 2 live stream apps at the same time. It doesn't fucking work. And so I botched that up. So I'm always experimenting shit with my own channel as I'm going live. I think I'm the worst when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
Myself in the long run. But listen, all right. So with that, guys, we're gonna go off the air now. I'm gonna head over to the Angry Truth channel. I will see you guys over there in a couple of minutes. Next week I had Heroic Prepper for next Tuesday, but we will be in Iceland then. So I'm not going to. I'm going to reschedule him for the following week or the week after that. But other than that, guys, do me a favor on your way out. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. We will have the Apocalyptic Ben. We will have Apocalyptic Ben back on here, in probably the next 2 weeks, and we will see you guys in a couple minutes on the other channel. All right, guys. Thank you for tonight, and thank you for dealing with my bullshit tonight. Appreciate it, Ben.
Yep. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it too.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Well.